Alright guys, welcome to our wall spin and our palm spin lesson today. These two moves are really our first adventure into wall tricks, and so you guys are going to need usually a big old platform, maybe a slanted surface. Sometimes trees can work. We even be able to use maybe like a couch. So if you have like an arm of a couch that's higher and the seat cushion is lower. But yeah, these moves are really awesome. These are very easy tricks to learn once you get the technique and the strengths for them figured out. But they're really awesome. We put these skills into our comment and our Nova Band test. So let's get started. Okay guys, I have two skills that are going to be really relevant to the skills that we're trying to learn today. These ones should be familiar to you guys. You're just going to practice them for a couple minutes before we move on to the harder stuff. Okay, first up is scoot to 360. So I like to find a line for scoot here. I line up my opposite foot and opposite hand on the line, and I got my other foot behind me here. When you do this scoot, you're trying to pivot around this arm here, and then once I put both feet down over on my right side here, it's just a 360 next. The next one is going to be cartwheel here. So on our cartwheel, I want us to do a more round off or traditional gymnastics cartwheel. So even if you're starting sideways, I want your hands up. I want you to try to end or put every point of contact on a line here, and then you're ending backward. Okay. So, and then we'll add a 360 to that too. And we're on to our first progression for our palm spin. Again, you're going to be on the ground. This is going to be very similar to a scoot. So I like to find a line on the ground here, line up my foot and hand just like I did for that scoot, except this time I'm going to try to get my scoot to land right back in place. So I'm going to pivot around this arm. This is super important. I have to have my shoulder above my wrist for pretty much every single skill after this one here. So from here, I am going to use my other hand in assist, and it'll be about 90. So if my fingers are pointing back this way, my left hand is pointing 90 degrees away, and I'm just going to do my scoot and keep a really tight pivot, and then land with my feet facing the same direction I started with, and my the hand that I spun around should be right in the middle of that. Okay, so that technique there is going to really help you understand how to spin around your arm. Okay, it's very fundamental, and it's very important that you get that. Make sure that these three joints here are all lined up and that your weight is over them. And make sure you give it a shot on your other hand too, because you may find out that this side's better. But this concept is important. Make sure you drill this until you get it. We're going to take that concept we did on the ground, and we're going to 3D-ize it. 3D-arise it. All right. This one's called This one is called a palm spin plant up. Okay. It looks like this. Again, the concept stays the same. This arm here needs to be lined up, stacked on top of each other. My fingers are pointing backwards, and shoulders on top. From here, I am just gonna, almost like I'm trying to touch this shoulder to that shoulder. That's gonna allow me to twist around this arm here, and then I'm pushing my hips up in the air so that I can plant my feet on top. I really like to use table, like outside picnic benches for this. These are a really good one. If you also have like something like an ottoman, this can also work. Just make sure that you don't punch the center of your ottoman too hard. I went through mine once, so just a little tip there. After our palm spin to our plant on top, we are going to try to take that turn just a little bit more until we can start getting ourselves back to the ground, okay? So this one is going to look like a palm spin that ends in a step vault. So I did a full 360 there, but I'm using a lot of points of contact to help myself keep spinning, and I'm not doing the whole thing in the air. The key skill I'm trying to learn here is keeping myself really tight as I spin around the arm, and I'm not going to try to travel from one side of my couch to the other. I'm going to stay pretty centered on this arm here. Very low effort. It's because I'm staying tight. So the breakdown of this guy here. Fingers are going backwards. I'm going to use this hand in that same 90-degree fashion as I did on the ground here. When I do my plant on top here, I'm going to keep twisting until I can get my first foot onto the ground. From here, you will have to take this hand up. This is too much twist to keep going around, so I'm going to take this hand up and switch it for that guy here. Once you guys feel comfortable with that palm spin to a step vault, you can take away that second hand that comes down. Right, and now I'm just using my my right leg, which is the same side I'm spinning. I'm just using that leg to stabilize the spin at the very end. There is an easier progression if you have something that has a corner, like this guy here. So this one is called a corner palm spin. So find your corner that you like. So I'm right side, I'm on the right corner. You stick the hand that you're pivoting around right on the edge of that corner. The other hand's gonna go right here. And now all I need to do is rotate 90 degrees before I'm over the side of this guy. We are on to the full wall spin, which is a full 360 off of a ledge. This one has to stay vertical. So if this arm here is moving around, so my shoulder's over here, and then it's all the way over the top, the twist will wobble. The arm needs to stay in the same angle. I usually shoot about 45 degrees away from the platform, and it stays that whole time. One of the more common mistakes on this guy here is that people spread this trick out way too far. Now your flip takes so much space over, it takes longer, it takes more strength. Again, keep everything very tight, and I don't move my feet out too far away, okay? Wherever my hand that I'm spinning on is, I usually line my feet up just to the left side or to the other side of them, and then I jump my feet straight up, I tuck them, and then I bring them right back down. Finally, we're moving on to the wall spin. You will need some sort of wall for this spin move. We do a slanted wall right here. This one's awesome. You can use a fallen over or leaning over tree. All right, breakdown. This guy, I am putting my wrist and my shoulder about, I feel like it's just slightly lower than my chest. And then my angle, so this lineup of these three joints is usually sticking out almost perpendicular to the wall here. So watch my arm when I do this one. Okay, very similar angle the whole way through. Next thing is bringing your knees to your chest and riding that rotation over this arm the whole way through. And then planting when you get down to the ground. The biggest mistake that everyone will do, and the one that'll cause you to crash easier or slip off the wall, is if you're taking your angle like this, as opposed to attacking the wall. Usually when I have these, I'm coming straight at them. That lets my hand push into the wall and stay on a little bit longer. All right, that is the lesson for today. Wanted to keep it simple, just 2 moves for you guys. You don't just need a wall. Couches work, picnic tables work. Give it a shot, try out different things. I'm sure you have something at your house that you can use this on. Just make sure it's stable and you apply the concepts, right? This got to be stacked. This is your pivot. This is the most important part. And then stay tight as you rotate around that. And you know, we're all free right now. So if you guys need a link to schedule a session with the coach so that he can watch you, or maybe he can find a tree in your backyard with you, send us a message, and we'd love to get back to you guys. We'd love to see you. We'd love to communicate and see what you guys are up to, all right? See ya.